Hello, hello, hello everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching creatives and crafters how to paint for fun and profit. Hello everyone, how are you? God, it feels like forever since I have been live. I don't know that it's been forever, but it feels that way. Anyway, how is everyone? I'm pulling in my art a little bit. Let me move. Oh, it's over here. I got to fix my window, flip my window a little bit. There we go. So how is everyone? We are doing January's video art tutorial tonight. We are doing our gnome. It is the 4th in this series. Let me get my my time lapse ready, because many times I forget. I may still forget, but whatever. So anyway, how is everyone? We have done 3 gnomes so far. So if you haven't seen them, this is our spring gnome. It is, if you scroll down, it is available on my YouTube and in the free group. We have done the summer gnome, surfer dude guy. We have done the fall gnome. Isn't that cute? The little pumpkin and the little fall leaves. And tonight we are doing winter gnome. I have already traced mine. As usual, you guys have the tracer and the supply list. This one's simple, black, white, blue, pink. Not a lot of colors going on in this one. Love it, love it, love it. And we will get started. So let me get my windows situated here and we will start painting. Let me drop a high in. And let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out some black paint. The backgrounds of all these gnomes and this particular series has been black. If you don't want your gnomes to be black, the backgrounds to be black, do yours in a different color. And you don't even have to make them a series. They can be whatever you want them to be. So you can do them different, you can do them all in blue, whatever you want. So I need a bigger brush here for a little bit. And I have out my black paint. I'm going to turn you guys around and we will get started. So I have already traced mine on. There are many videos. There's videos here in the group and there are videos on the YouTube, my YouTube at Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, showing you how to trace on your tracer. So the easiest way to do that is by getting some graphite paper from Staples, Amazon, Hobby Lobby, wherever, and you use it with the shiny side down. Oh, I'm actually going to go over this. I'll redraw it in. Use it with the shiny side down and then use a pencil or a pen to trace the design onto your canvas or surface. It's really simple. Okay. I am using about a 1-inch flat brush, and I like to, as I go around and do this, I like to outline my design and then work in sections. This is pretty easy because we're not doing a fancy background, we're just doing the whole thing black, but I will work in sections around my canvas. I like to do the outline. Hey ladies, hey Pam, how are you? I like to do the outline. It kind of tells my eye where to go. I feel like it helps me, just getting some paper towels, stay on track, stay where I'm supposed to be. I don't know, it's just a thing of mine, but however you want to do it, if it doesn't help you, it's totally up to you. That's just what I do. As I go along, I will sometimes paint the edge, sometimes I do fun edges, and again, that is your choice. If you want to do the edge, leave the edge white, whatever. Okay, so I'm just going in and around. And if you've noticed in the past, I don't use an easel, and I will turn my painting any and every which way in order to make the paint stroke work for me. I'm not here contortioning up my arm and doing all kinds of craziness. Nope, I will turn my surface. I don't use an easel. Unless I'm painting something really, really large, like I've done in the past. I've painted a really large butterfly. And I painted a really big snowman once. I did those on an easel, and that helped. But when I'm painting something that fits, it's a canvas, it fits on my work table, I am just turning whatever and any which way I can to get it to work for me. If that means sometimes turning my guy upside down, or my painting upside down, my design upside down, then that's what it means. So I'm just coming down here to the bottom because this is a winter snowman, and there's going to be a little bit of snow down there by his feet. So I'm just leaving this line right here. I'm cutting off my black background and I'm just filling it into there. I have to do the other side as well. And turn around again. So again, this is the 4th gnome in the series. I have done a spring one. I have done a surfer gnome for the summertime. And I have done the fall gnome. And this is now the winter gnome. And you can either, this has a snow and some hearts, but you can do one or the other. You can do both. It's totally up to you. It is your art. If you just wanted to have it all hearts, it could be all hearts. If you just wanted to have it all snowflakes, it could be all snowflakes. Totally up to you. I need a little bit more black paint. There we go. I try not to get too particular, and I'm big on your art your way. That's why when I started this, my series of these gnomes have all black backgrounds. But if you're just doing one gnome, you can do any color background you want. If you're doing a series, you can still do any color background you want. It does not have to be all black. Okay. Let me just look here for a second. I'm letting my black dry a little bit while I look something up as well. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get some white out. White out, not white out, white out. And I have a little bit, I have this cobalt blue here, which I might just darken up a little bit with some black paint. I want this to be more of like a grayish blue, not necessarily a cobalt blue. I want it to be more of a deeper grayish, gunmetal, kind of, I don't know, steel blue, I guess. There you go, steel blue, that's a good name for it. So I'm just gonna wipe out my brush, and I'm just going to, a black goes a very long way. So I'm just gonna dip in the corner of my brush in some black, and I'll come over here and I'm gonna start mixing it in. You can always add more. It's much easier to add more than it is to take away, obviously. So I'm gonna get another corner of this black, and I'll go in here and mix it in a little bit more. There we go. And you don't have to overmix. Like, I don't like to overmix it either. I want my blue to be a little bit unmixed and swirly. This way, it gives it a little bit more character. if we have some black streaks and some blue streaks. We don't have to totally mix it to get one whole color. Now I can go in and I can paint around my hearts if I want, or I can go back in later and paint them in. It is up to you. Obviously I can't go around my hearts with this big giant brush. So what I'm doing is I'm painting in what I can with this big giant brush, and then I will go back with the little brush. I'm not going to worry about the stripes, but I might worry about the hearts a little bit. So when you're doing this, just get the base coat in. You can let your strokes go vertical or horizontal, but when you're finishing up, you want all your strokes to go the same way, and you want your strokes to be the same way as the element. So if you're painting your hat, it's nice to have your strokes go vertically, horizontally, across, and so they all match up. Okay, now I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to get this little brush. And again, I'm sticking into the blue-black color I made. I'm picking up some black on the outside, which I don't care about because it's just giving my blue on my hat, and presumably this is a knit hat. It's giving the blue on my hat a little bit more character. We're going to go in and we're going to paint these white. And then when I paint them white, as you can see, I'm not being very neat now, but when I go back in with white and I paint them, that's when I will clean up all the edges and my heart designs. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Right now I'm just worrying about getting in the base coat and getting most of the blue in around my hearts. When I pick up the white and I go in and I fill in with white, then you'll see the hearts and they'll have like a nice shape to them. But for now it's okay if they're a little messy, as long as I color block in and get in this nice blue for the background of the hat. Okay, might need a little bit of a second coat in areas, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So far we did the black background and we did the blue background of the hat. Now this hat's going to have more than these hearts for designs, so I'm not going to really worry about that. I want to let that dry a little bit. While I still have the blue, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to paint in his mittens. And these just a little oval, egg-shaped. Nothing special about them. As you can see, one, or maybe you can't see, one was a little bit flatter than the other. So when I went in here, I made them a little bit more even. And I'm going to paint in our banner here as well. Now if you want to move along and your painting is not drying quick enough, you can always get out a hairdryer or a heat gun and speed up the process a little bit. When I paint, and I paint for you guys and I do these tutorials, I just hop around. And I'll go from one area to the next. This way, while I'm doing one space, the other space will dry. And our art always is a process. So you guys, I always have to say, if you go out of the lines, don't worry about it. If you want to change something, you just need to be patient. This is acrylic paint. It dries fairly quickly. If you are patient, you can change or enhance anything. So keep moving on. I'm out of the line up there. I'm not going to worry about it. When we're done and we add all the details to our art, it suddenly just comes to life and we're like, look at that. So I don't get worried about little imperfections while I'm painting. So this is still pretty wet. I've done the background with the black, and then I have filled in with like this gray. I added a little bit of black to my royal cobalt blue to get like more of this gunmetal steel blue color, and I will need a second coat. Like I said, if you want to dry yours, you can. You want to skip around like I do, you can do that too. Okay. So I have out some white. I'm not going to use either of the brushes that I've been using because I want some nice fresh white here. And yes, the bottom of our canvas is white. So if you really didn't want to paint the bottom, you can. I like to paint my canvas even when it's white because I feel like the paint gives the canvas a different surface, a different sheen to it, and you can tell what is blank canvas and what is painted canvas. So I like to make sure that I paint everything even if it's white. If you don't want to paint the white, you don't have to. Totally up to you. So I'm just filling in the bottom here, and I will do the sides a little bit with the white as well. It just gives it a much cleaner look, a much more finished look as well. Okay. And also, when you want to blend, you want your paint on your brush, your surface, and the paint you're applying to all be wet. When you want to fix something, you want to be patient, let it all dry. So I am picking up a little bit of blue on the corner of my flat brush, just like that. And I'm going to start adding in some blue here and just blend in a little bit of mountain to the snow. Tiny, tiny, tiniest bit of blue on my wet brush that has white on it. And again, I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to do the surface, make a little bit of a shadow up here, shadow underneath where he's standing, and then add in with that corner. And it was the tiniest bit of blue you saw. And I don't know if you guys can see, but maybe if I hold you up or turn you around. Let me see if I can turn you guys around. Sometimes these vertical ones are a little hard to work with. But can you see now? I have a little bit of blue and I blend it in there. Makes a little bit of hilly on the bottom and it looks more like snow. And it kind of sets him back too in there. And that was the tiniest bit. I used my white brush and just a corner I picked up some blue on. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the base coat for his beard. And again, this is just the white. I didn't even wash my brush. It had hardly any blue in it. But again, I don't care because I'm going to mix up a little bit of gray for his beard. So again, I'm going to go into the littlest corner of black. Tiny, it's like a pinhead. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to mix in with my white. That little corner. Mix in with my white. We don't want to over blend. We want it to be streaky. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start with his beard. And I'm pulling in just these strokes with my brush. And it's a little streaky. And some of it is heavier. And some of it is lighter. And I'm just painting in his beard there. I know I have a bad glare. I have not been able to fix it no matter what I try. And it's very frustrating to me. But I will hold it up and I will let you guys see how I have his beard painted here. Okay? See the streaks? I didn't overblend my white with my little bit of black. And now you can see how his beard has a little bit of dimension to it. I'm going to go in and fix the banner on the bottom. We're not going to worry about that just yet. Okay? So there we go. Okie doke. So now because this is all matching, and he does have like clothes on the bottom, but we want it to be a little bit different than his mittens, I'm just going to use the straight blue that we used before we mixed it with the black for his hat and mittens, okay? So now it's over there in the pile. This is just the blue by itself, and this is a true blue or a cobalt blue. And I'm just going in here and I'm doing around his beard and around the banner and around his shoes. Again, I like to outline. So it helps my eye stay where it needs to stay, and my brush to stay where it needs to stay, and I paint in the areas that I need to paint in with that color. It's okay if I get out of line a little bit, because like I said, with the acrylic paint, you can in fact fix everything. You just have to be patient and wait for it to dry. Okay? And again, I'm doing these strokes going vertically, unlike the hat where I had them going horizontal. Okay. All right. I'm just going to cut out a little bit of pink. 4 colors. This entire gnome is 4 colors. A little bit of pink for his nose. Blue that we added a little bit of black to for his mittens and his hat. The black background. And then the white for the embellishments that we're going to put on, and the base of his beard and the base of the snow. And then you just want to add a little bit of black to the white to make a soft gray for his beard. Now I'm just coming in here and I'm putting in his little gnome. Got a little yucky there from my paint. His gnome nose. Okay. And let me see if I turn this one away a little bit. Yeah, I think I need to get a filter on that light a little bit, but that's a little bit better, I think, for you guys, right? Wouldn't you say? Now we have his nose and his beard and the banner. Now I'm going to move on to my liner brush. I'm going to work our way up. So the first thing I want to do, I want to highlight a little bit of the banner, and I want to outline it. And when I outline it, I'm going to make my points a lot better so you can actually see the shape of the banner now, and his beard is underneath. All right. I want to outline the mittens and give a little bit of a highlight. If your paint is a little too thick and isn't moving well, you just want to dip the very tip of your liner brush into your water so you get a little bit more movement with your brush. So I'm just going in, I'm outlining the hands, I outlined the banner, I outlined the shoes, and put a little highlight. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to put a little highlight on his nose. Okay. Then I'm going to start adding, I'm going to pick something up. Where did I do it down? Oh, there they are. I wanted to pick up my sample so it looks like yours. I'm going to keep with my liner brush. Most of my hat is dry. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start adding in some detail to the hat. You can also go in and outline it. We're going to outline it with some black as well. But I'm starting with the white because the white is what I have on the brush right now. And then we'll go in and we'll add some black to it. Again, if your liner brush is sticking, not moving, being dry, just put the tip of your liner brush into the water and mix it with your paint just to loosen your paint up a little bit. Okay. And this is what I mean, it all starts to come together when you start adding these details. Oh, Pam, I love that. Yes, I find it so much easier to do the outlining first. I feel like my eyes are then drawn to where, my eyes are drawn to where I need to be then. Helps my brush stay where it's supposed to be. It's just a guide, but it really helps a lot. You wouldn't think something so simple like that would help, but it does. So now I'm going in and I'm adding these stripes to the hat because we're going to break it up into sections and start adding designs to the hat. I'm going to try and follow the sample and the tracer that you guys got, but you don't have to. You can go in and put in whatever designs, however you want your hat to go. And if you see me, I keep looking over there to make sure that I'm like following along here. But you can put hearts, you can put snowflakes, you can put shamrocks, whatever you want. This is a very versatile gnome for you to put anything that you want on it. You can do completely white stripes, you could add gray stripes, you can have chevron stripes, whatever you want to do. Okay, so I got those in, and now I'm going to go in here again with this liner brush. And this, now I'm going to, and if you wanted to, you can get a pencil or a piece of chalk, a stencil, whatever helps you do this to do your hearts or your snowflakes. Totally up to you. You know, you guys, I'm all about tips and tricks and tools, anything to help you be more successful in your art and to be happy and proud of your art. I know I say this all the time, art is has been therapy for me. I love getting lost in the zone. As I say, I was in the zone. But when all is said and done, you know, we still want to show off. We still want to be proud of our work. And so I am all about tips, tricks, and tools to help that. So if it means explaining to you guys how I outline first, or you guys grabbing a pencil or a piece of chalk to draw your hearts on here first before you go to the paint, or if you have a stencil and you want to do a stencil to add your design on here on the hat, totally up to you. It is your art, your way. There's no art police gonna come banging on your door and being like, you used a stencil, cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater. No, 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 no. So I want my painters to feel successful. And if that means using chalk or a stencil or a tracer, so be it. And I'm just using the liner brush because I had it. You could use a little bit of like a 1/4 inch flat brush if you wanted to, or a round brush. This is the brush I had in my hand, so this is the brush I'm going to keep using. Like this one kind of went off the hat a little bit. You kind of want to imagine that it was tucked underneath. And again, I did a terrible job of going around these hearts, but look how it doesn't matter, because now I'm just going in with the white paint and fixing them, and they're hearts again. That's why I say, don't get caught up in all the little details, because something that you might have been spending a lot of time with, trying to trace out the hearts when you were doing the background, doesn't even matter, because you're going to go back in and you're going to add in the solid white hearts, and it doesn't matter what a bad job you did tracing around them, because now voila, you have these beautiful hearts. I know sometimes I have people like, they're like, oh, I did this. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all good. I have a couple of white spots in here. We're going to add snowflakes. You're not even going to see those white spots. It's going to be totally fine. Okay. I need a little fresh white. Even I went over, he's got a decoration hanging off the top of his hat instead of like a pom-pom now. If you saw the tracer. Everyone, you got this download for the tracer in the group. So I painted right over this. I didn't want to be painting around all of that. I painted right over it. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to, let's see, add it back in. Now, I'm being a little bit brave here with the paint. I should be, yep, I'm telling you guys, I should be doing this with a pencil first, but I'm not. So, forgive me if I screw it up. However, you can't completely screw it up, because if I mess it up and my hearts are wonky, I will just get out my blow dryer. I will completely dry the white paint, and I will start over again with the black. I'll go right over everything and redo the background with the black and start over again. And if I have to do that, I will learn from my mistake and I will come back with pencil or chalk. But so far, so good, right? So if you're in my group and watching this from my group or watching this on YouTube, this is 4th in the series. We did a spring gnome, we did a surfer gnome for the summer, and we did a fall gnome. This is our 4th gnome in the series, and this is our winter gnome. And these guys are so cute. These are on an 8 by, it's not an 8 by 12. Is it 8 by 12? No, I think they're on an 8 by 20 maybe. I would suggest doing these on a vertical surface, but obviously it doesn't have to be this big a surface. But because they're the gnomes, I like the fact that they're on this vertical surface, but they don't have to be as tall as these are. You can do them whatever size you want. Isn't that cute? Okay. Now we have, that's why I said you can do snowflakes, or you can do hearts, or you can do both. Totally up to you. Here we go. Okay, I think that's good there. Then we have a little bit of design down here on our banner. We have some dots. Where are they coming off of? They're coming off of here to make a little bit more of a snowflake. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you haven't noticed, I'm using the back of the brush, the handle, the flat part, the hard part of the brush. It does the best dots. Down here we just want little dots going out to the sides, so I will use the brush part, or if you have a dauber or a stylus, you can use that. But I'm just going to use the brush part of my brush. Adding these little dots to put a little design, winter design on the banner here. There we go. That's it. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. Again, I'm going to get the back of the brush and I'm going to put polka dots as we go along here for this section of the hat. They do not have to be perfectly spaced. You do not have to get out the ruler and measure. Nope. Doing a little bit of a chevron here. We want to keep going along the hat. Okay. If you are more concerned with your dots, here's another way to do it without measuring. Put one in the middle. Then put one in the middle of that in the end, and then put one in the middle of that one in the end. And then just keep adding them to the middles. Because sometimes when you're just looking at 2 dimensions and they're closer together, it's much easier to space stuff out. I'll show you that again. Blank, blank up here. Okay. So we're going to put one in the middle. And now we have halves. So we're going to put one in the middle on this side. And we're going to put one in the middle on this side. And then middle. Middle of these 2. Middle of these 2. Middle of these 2. Okay. Then we can come up in here and repeat the chevron. And if you see, I'm making the top one a little longer each time. And that's how it gives it the curvy look too. I think I need one other line in here. Okay. These dots we're going to just be random with. There we go. And then I think that's good. Okay. Rinse my brush a little bit. Now I'm going to come to my black and we're going to do a little black outlining. Now this is really going to help the beard pop. You don't want to do too much here. I'm just a little bit for the banner. Okay. A little bit for the mittens. Down the rest of his clothing, pants. I don't know. What do gnomes wear? Do they wear pants? I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do a little bit of a scoop around the nose. And then the black line, because we have so much black for our background, I'm just doing it sporadically in little wisps in certain spots over the white. It's just kind of like toning down the white, but I don't want an entire black outline because the background is black, and I'm just, that's it, just a little bit sparingly here and there with the black. I'm going to add a little bit more black to my white here. I want a little bit of a darker gray. Again, we don't want to overmix. We want it to just be stirred in. We want to see the different colors. And I'm coming in here and I'm putting in little wiggly like beard hairs for our gnome. Our gnome lives in the tree, and he's really not into beard maintenance and keeping it trimmed and nice. So I'm just coming in here and I'm putting in a little squiggly lines with my liner brush, giving his beard a little bit of character. And you can do this if you want, or you can leave it. It's totally up to you. Okay? Now I'm going to go back in here. These need a second coat. White on black needs a little bit of a second coat. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to have full coverage, but my black was really bleeding through, probably because I used the liner brush and didn't get out the 1/4 inch. But that's okay. See what I mean? It doesn't matter. And I'm just adding in a little bit of fresh white. But we want to wait for these things to dry. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. So that's why I move around and then I came back. Now, just like I did some highlights to his nose with the white, I'm going to just come in here. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight with my liner brush and our black paint to a couple of the sides of the heart. Just put a little bit comma stroke in there. And the same thing we did when we outlined him. Just putting a little bit light touch with our liner brush, just toning down the white a little bit on these lines. Okay. Oh, dropped a little bit of water there. All right. And then last but not least, because it is a winter gnome, need fresh white again. Get out a little bit more white. And again, see how I spilt all this paint? My white was a little bit splattery when I was going back and forth before. So the first thing I'm doing is where I have big splatters is where I'm going to add the big snowflakes. I'm going in here where I had big splatters from my paint to begin with. That's why it's fine. I didn't have to go back in with black. I didn't have to go over my whole project. Nope. I just went in, and the first thing I did was strategically put some snow where I dripped paint before. Nobody needs to know that that's why you put those there. Only you and me now. But I'm going in. I usually get 3 dots for every dip with the back of my brush. And I like that when we do these dips, as we run out of paint, the dots get smaller. The first one's always the biggest, then there's a medium, and then there's a small. depending on how much paint we start with. And we're just adding the snow to the background. You want to be random. You don't want to create a pattern. There we go. And there we have it. There is our Winter Gnome. Let me turn you guys around. So, there you go. Thank you for joining me for our Winter Gnome, the 4th in the series. I'm going to grab the rest of them too. Isn't he cute? So cute. Okay, so we had Spring Gnome. If you haven't watched it, it's in the group. Scroll down, you'll find it in the guides. I don't remember which guide, I'm sorry, but it is there. We had Spring Gnome. We had Summer Surfer Gnome. With the, what's that called? What's this flower called? Hibiscus. Hibiscus and the surfboard. Isn't that cute? And that cute little yellow flower up the top of his hat. Then we had Fall Gnome holding that beautiful pumpkin with these really colorful fall leaves. And then to top of our series was tonight's Winter Gnome. So all of the videos, this video too, will be in the guides. All of my gnome videos are in the guides. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can scroll down and find the rest of the gnome series. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. It is always my pleasure to paint for you guys. I love painting with you, and I will be posting February's. I don't think we're going to do Valentine's Day for February. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. It depends on when I do the date, because I've already done, I did a Zoom in January for Valentine's Day, and I'm doing a Zoom tomorrow night with another Valentine's Day, which I don't have. I meant to grab. So yeah, I'm doing 2 Valentine's Day. So I think in February we might be moving on to spring, or maybe in February we'll do St. Patrick's Day. I have a cute one for St. Patrick's Day. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you soon. Have a great night.